starts internally. Winning your inner game does not mean you never feel emotion. It means emotion no longer dictates your behavior. You can feel anger without acting on it. You can feel fear without retreating. You can feel uncertainty without freezing. That separation is mastery. The goal of mental training is not to suppress what you feel. It is to prevent feelings from hijacking your actions. Once you understand this, you stop fighting yourself. You stop trying to be calm all the time. Instead, you focus on being controlled. Control is neutral. Control is grounded. Control is reliable. By the end of this chapter, understand this clearly. Every external win is preceded by an internal one. If you lose the inner game, no strategy can save you. But if you win the inner game, even setbacks become manageable. This is where everything begins. Not with confidence, not with motivation, with control. In the next chapter, you'll learn why discipline, not feelings, is the real foundation of mental strength, and why relying on emotion is one of the fastest ways to lose in life. Chapter 2. Discipline over feelings. Most people believe their feelings should guide their actions. They wake up and ask themselves how they feel. Then they decide what they will or won't do based on that answer. That habit quietly ruins lives. Feelings are unstable. They change with sleep, food, stress, praise, rejection, and circumstances you don't control. If your actions depend on how you feel, your life will be inconsistent by default. Discipline exists to solve that problem. Discipline is not about forcing yourself. It is about removing choice from moments where choice weakens you. A disciplined mind does not debate every action. It follows standards. Untrained minds negotiate with themselves. I'll do it later. I don't feel like it today. I'll start when motivation comes back. Those negotiations feel harmless, but they slowly destroy self-trust. Every time you delay because of feelings, you teach your mind that comfort has authority. And once comfort becomes the authority, discipline collapses. The truth is simple. Feelings are information, not instruction. They tell you what is happening internally. They do not tell you what to do. When feelings become instructions, your behavior becomes reactive and unreliable. Strong minds separate emotion from execution. They feel resistance and act anyway. They feel fear and move forward anyway. They feel boredom and stay consistent anyway. Not because they are numb, but because they understand something most people never learn. Progress does not require motivation. It requires standards. A standard is a rule you follow even when you don't feel like it. You don't brush your teeth only when motivated. You don't stop at red lights based on mood. You don't show up to important commitments only when inspired. Those behaviors are automated by standards. Mental discipline works the same way. You decide in advance who you are and how you act. Then you execute regardless of emotional weather. This removes friction. Instead of asking, "Do I feel like it?" you ask, "Is this aligned with my standard?" That question simplifies life. Most emotional exhaustion comes from constant internal debate. Indecision drains more energy than action. Discipline reduces mental noise. It creates predictability inside your own behavior, and predictability builds trust. Not trust from others first, trust from yourself. Self-trust is powerful. When you trust yourself to follow through, you stop overthinking. You stop seeking reassurance. As you stop second-guessing every decision, you move. This is why disciplined people appear confident. They are not guessing who they will be today. They already decided. Feelings still show up, but they no longer have veto power. This is especially important under pressure. Pressure amplifies emotion. Stress makes feelings louder. Fatigue makes discipline harder. That's when standards matter most. In difficult moments, you don't rise to your potential. You fall to your level of discipline. If your discipline is weak, pressure will expose it. If your discipline is strong, pressure will sharpen it. Many people misunderstand discipline as punishment. They associate it with restriction and suffering. In reality, discipline creates freedom. Freedom from regret. Freedom from emotional swings. Freedom from starting over again and again. Every time you choose discipline over feeling, you strengthen your internal authority. You teach your mind that action is not optional, that standards are non-negotiable. At first, this feels uncomfortable. Your mind will resist. It will look for excuses. It will exaggerate fatigue and discomfort. That resistance is normal. It is the old pattern losing control. The key is not to fight the feeling. It is to ignore its command. You can acknowledge discomfort without obeying it. That skill alone changes everything. Over time, something interesting happens. The resistance gets quieter. The debate shortens. Action becomes easier. Not because feelings improved, but because discipline took the lead. You stop relying on emotional peaks to function. You become steady. Steady people win long games. They don't burn out quickly. They don't disappear when things get hard. They don't need constant encouragement. They move forward regardless. This consistency builds momentum. Momentum builds identity. Identity reinforces discipline. It becomes a loop. And once that loop is established, life becomes simpler. Not easier. Simpler. You stop asking how to feel better. You start asking what needs to be done. That shift is maturity. Discipline is not about being harsh. It is about being reliable. Reliable to your goals. Reliable to your standards. Reliable to the person you're becoming. In every situation, feelings will try to lead. Let discipline lead instead. In the next chapter, you will learn how calm becomes a competitive advantage and why those who can stay composed under pressure control outcomes others can't. Chapter 3. Stay calm under pressure. Pressure does not create weakness. It reveals it. When pressure shows up, it doesn't change who you are. It exposes the level of training you've done. Most people believe calm is something you either have or don't have. They think it's personality, temperament, luck. That belief keeps them weak. Calm is not a trait. Calm is a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained. Under pressure, the body reacts first. Breathing shortens, muscles tighten, thoughts speed up. If you don't notice this early, your mind loses control before you realize it. Once the body panics, the mind follows. That's why staying calm starts with awareness, not willpower. You don't force calm, you create the conditions for it. Untrained minds try to push through pressure. They clench, they rush, they override signals. That approach works briefly, then collapses. Trained minds do the opposite. They slow the moment down. They widen their awareness instead of narrowing it. They lower internal urgency. They stabilize before acting. This is not passive. It is strategic. Calm gives you options. Panic removes them. In stressful situations, speed feels powerful, but speed without clarity is dangerous. Most bad decisions are made quickly, not thoughtfully. Calm allows you to see what actually matters. When others rush, you observe. When others react emotionally, you stay neutral. That neutrality creates leverage, because pressure affects everyone, but not everyone responds the same way. Those who stay calm become anchors. Decision makers, leaders, not because they are louder, but because they are steady. Steadiness signals confidence to others, even when you feel uncertainty inside. This is important. Calm does not mean absence of fear. It means fear does not control behavior. You can feel pressure and still think clearly. The mistake most people make is waiting to feel calm before acting. That moment rarely comes. Calm is built through repeated exposure, not avoidance. You don't train calm by escaping stress. You train it by staying present inside it. small doses, controlled environments. When something triggers you, that is not failure. That is training. Instead of reacting, you pause. Instead of escalating, you breathe. Instead of collapsing into emotion, you ground yourself. Grounding is practical. Slow the breath. Lower the shoulders. Relax the jaw. These physical actions send a signal to the mind. We are not in danger. Once the body settles, the mind regains control. This sequence matters. Mind does not calm body under pressure. Body calms mind. Ignoring this leads to frustration. People tell themselves to calm down while their body is still in fight or flight. That never works. Training calm means working from the outside in. Over time, your nervous system adapts. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Not because pressure disappeared, but because your tolerance increased. Tolerance is strength. People who can tolerate pressure can tolerate responsibility, complexity, uncertainty. That's why calm is a competitive advantage. In business, in relationships, in conflict, in decision-making, when others lose clarity, you gain it. When others speak impulsively, you choose your words. When others rush outcomes, you control timing. Timing decides outcomes. Many conflicts escalate unnecessarily because no one stayed calm long enough to de-escalate them. The calm person controls the temperature of the room. That control is silent but powerful. It changes how others behave around you. They slow down. They mirror your tone. They reconsider. This is influence without force. Calm also protects you from regret. Most regret comes from emotional decisions. Words spoken too quickly. Actions taken too soon. Staying calm gives you space to act in alignment with your values. That alignment builds self-respect, and self-respect strengthens the inner game. Over time, calm becomes your default, not because life got easier, but because you stopped feeding urgency. Urgency is often imagined. Pressure is often exaggerated. A trained mind sees this clearly. It understands that very few moments require immediate reaction. Most require patience. The ability to pause under pressure is one of the highest forms of discipline. It is the difference between being controlled and being in control. As you move forward, remember this: calm is not weakness. Calm is control. And control wins in every situation. In the next chapter, you'll learn how reactions give power away and how mastering your responses changes every interaction you have. Chapter 4. Control your reactions. Reactions feel automatic, but they are not uncontrollable. They are habits, and like all habits, they can be retrained. Most people believe reactions are honest. They think reacting quickly means being authentic. They confuse expression with strength. In reality, reaction is surrender. The moment you react without thought, you hand control to whatever triggered you. A comment, a delay, a tone, a situation you didn't expect. That trigger becomes the leader. You become the follower. Strong minds reverse that relationship. They don't eliminate reaction, they delay it. That delay is the difference between being provoked and being powerful. Reactions collapse space. Responses create space. Space allows choice. Choice restores control. This is why the pause is essential. When something triggers you, your first instinct is speed. You want to answer, to defend, to explain, to push back. Speed feels like strength, but speed under emotion is almost always weakness. The pause feels uncomfortable because it interrupts a familiar pattern. Your mind will pressure you. Say something now. Don't let this go. You'll look weak if you wait. That pressure is a lie. Silence does not weaken your position. Uncontrolled reaction does. People respect those who are not easily moved. They sense stability. They sense self-command. That is why reactive people are easy to manipulate.